Good morning from sunny, beautiful Jamaica. Today we are calling on the strength of our ancestors, especially Queen Nanny of the Maroons. Now we cannot finish this month without speaking about such a phenomenal woman. She's the only national heroine of Jamaica. Nanny of the Maroons. How much do you know about Nanny? Let's talk about her for a little bit. Queen Nanny, Granny Nanny, also known as Nanny of the Maroons, was an 18th century leader of the Jamaican Maroon. She led a community of formerly enslaved Africans called the Windward Maroons. In the early 18th century, under the leadership of Nani, the Windward Maroons fought a guerrilla war over many years against British authorities in the colony of Jamaica in what became known as the First Maroon War. Much of what is known about her comes from oral history, telling of Nani from generation to generation. And I'm sure you've heard some of the crazy stories about her and possible myths. According to Maroon legend, Queen Nani was born in what is today Ghana of the Akans people. According to the oral tradition, and at least one source, she was never enslaved. Although widely assumed that she arrived in Jamaica as a slave, how she arrived in Jamaica is not certain. Hear those drums? Yeah. Alright, let's continue. During the years of warfare, the British suffered significant losses in their encounters with the Windward Maroons of eastern Jamaica. Maroons attributed their success against the British to the successful use of supernatural powers by Nani, but historians argue that the Maroon mastery of guerrilla warfare played a significant role in their success. Having failed to defeat them on the battlefield, the British sued for peace, signing a treaty with them on 20 April 740. See? Them could beat them, so them have to join them, right? Get them for cool. The treaty stopped the hostilities, provided for state-sanctioned freedom for the Maroons, and granted 500 acres of land to Nani and her followers. The village built on the land grant still stands and today is called Moortown. You guys know where Moortown is? It is also known as the New Nanny Town. Modern members of the Moortown celebrate 20 April 1740 as a holiday. And guess what? We have 20 April coming up soon, so let's celebrate Nani and the Maroons on that day. In 1975, the government of Jamaica declared Nani as their only female national hero, celebrating her success as leader, military tactician, and strategist. Her image is also on the Jamaican 500 note, which is called a nanny in Jamaican slang. Yeah, man, a nanny can't really buy up these days, but we still see her on the notes. All right, so let's continue the origins of Nani. According to Maroon legend, Nani was born into the Akan people about 1686 in what is now Ghana, West Africa. There are several versions of her early story. It is not clear from which objective sources which is accurate. In one story, she came as a free woman who may have even had her own slaves. In another, she came to Jamaica as a slave, but then escaped, perhaps even jumping off the ship where it was offshore. However, the oral traditions about her arrival in Jamaica maintain that she was always free. Another version of her life tells that she was of royal African blood and came to Jamaica as a free woman. She may have been married to a Maroon man named Adu, but had no known children who survived. The Maroons are descendants Let's go again. The Maroons are descendants of West Africa, mainly people from the Akan. They were considered ferocious fighters. A number of slaves originated from other regions of Africa, including Nigeria, the Congo, and Madagascar. However, the origin of at least half of the slaves in Jamaica during the early English colonization of the island is uncertain. After being brought to Jamaica in the course of the transatlantic slave trade, many slaves fled from the oppressive conditions of plantations and formed their own communities in the hilly interior of the island. People who escaped from slavery joined these maroon communities in the mountains of eastern Jamaica or the cockpit country in the west of the island. Cockpit country, known for so much richness, and of course has this great historical value that we need to protect. Up to the 1650s, under Spanish rule, slaves escaped and intermarried with the native islanders, the Taino or Arawak people, in their communities in the Blue Mountains. Located in Portland Parish and St. Thomas Parish, Jamaica, in the eastern end of the island. That's where you find Blue Mountains. If you haven't been to Blue Mountains, please go. It's beautiful up there. It's worth the hike. We did it twice and we're looking forward to doing it again. So let's talk about the tactics, the military tactics that the Maroons were so known for. The Windward Maroons' success against a much superior and better armed enemy was a testament to the great skill their leader Nani possessed. One of their advantages over the British was their long-range communications capability. They pioneered the use of a cow horn called an abeng. This horn with a hole drilled in one end was used for long-range communications. Its signals allow Maroons to look out and communicate over great distances. They were not understood by the British, who had no similar communications capabilities. Smart, not true? Always smart, always talented. Them can't take that from me. Hello. Nani's troops were masters of camouflage. The soldiers were so proficient at disguising their location that the British soldiers circulated tales of trees in the forest becoming alive and cutting one's head off. Besides the physical aspects of camouflage, the Maroons became experts in slowing their breathing so as to not reveal their presence to someone in their vicinity. The Maroons also developed ways of creating fires that were not readily visible. The Windward Maroons were innovators in guerrilla warfare. They used surprise, the knowledge of the terrain, and cleverly chosen positions in their fight against the British. Go there. Their village was located in territory with only one way in. It is hard to get up there and hard to come down. The only way in was a narrow path that was only wide enough for one person. Jamaicans will all know that part there. You go from Blue Mountain, you swear to you go drop off. Soldiers trying to attack or raid in a single file were easily ambushed. To heighten the enemy's fear, Nani forces were never killed all of the attacking force. Oh, so she leave one of them to go back and tell them, say, yo, all of the man them dead. Now go up there. Good going. Now let's talk a bit about the Maroon War. The famous Maroon War. And then that will conclude this feature for Nanny of the Maroons. In 1655, following the invasion of Jamaica, the English captured Jamaica from the Spaniards, but many Spanish slaves became free under Spanish Maroon leaders such as Juan de Bolas and Juan de Serras. The Spanish left, freeing their slaves in the process, and they joined the windward Maroon communities. Well, me here said the Spanish run away and them got Cuba and them left them slave and the slave them, take them freedom. But they're saying something else here, and them just a pretty it up. These formerly enslaved people with their ranks enhanced with escape and liberated slave became the core of the windward Maroons. They staged a prolonged fight against English enslavement. Of course, after them free, they think they might go back in slavery. Fight them bright. Come on, we all know that slavery shouldn't exist in the first place. Let's continue. Later in the 17th century, more slaves escaped, joining the two main bands of Windward and Leeward Maroons. By the early 18th century, these Maroon towns were headed respectively by Nani, who shared the leadership of the Eastern Maroons with Kwao and Captain Kodjo and Akapan in the west, which is a village I've always wanted to visit. I learned about Akapan a few years ago and I said I would visit. If anyone has ever been to Akapan, please let me know what your experience was like. The Windward Maroons fought the British on the east side of the islands from their villages in the Blue Mountains of Portland. The community raised animals, hunted, and grew crops. Yeah, become self-sustainable. The code for self, yeah. Maroons at Nanny Town and similar communities survived by sending traders to the nearby market towns to exchange food for weapons and clothing. It was organized very much like a typical Ashanti society in Africa. From 1655 until they signed peace treaties in 1739 and 1740, these Maroons led most of the slave rebellions in Jamaica, helping to free slaves from the plantations. They raided and then damaged lands and buildings held by plantation owners. The Maroons were also known for raiding plantations for weapons and for food, burning the plantations and leading freed slaves to join their mountain communities. Nani was highly successful at organizing plans to free slaves. During a period of 30 years, she was credited with freeing more than 1,000 slaves and helping them to resettle in the Maroon community. Big up yourself, Nanny of the Maroons, Queen Nanny, Sister Nanny, Granny Nanny, whatever you call her. She has done a phenomenal job as a freedom fighter and freeing so many slaves, more than 1,000. And she should be celebrated and remembered throughout history, an icon, a hero. Nani is. Now, sisters and brothers, thank you so much for listening. It's been a pleasure to share with you. Please subscribe, share, and like. We have more coming your way. And we cannot end this video without speaking on recent events in Jamaica with women missing and being taken away from us, their lives snuffed out. Sisters, brothers, Jamaica, world. We need to stop this. We need to unite. We need to do better. We need to protect ourselves. Everything in our power to stop this from happening. I can't even say rest in peace. I can't even say be safe, be cautious, because we've had enough. It's not us. We're not the problem. It's those who want to harm others. They are the problem. And so, I'm imparting and sharing with you strength, resilience. We need some tactics like Nani, what she did to fight the enemies who wanted to enslave her. And trust me, we'll only get out of this better and stronger. So, bless up. Stay as upful as you can. Look out for each other. And blessings to all on you. Until next time, take care.